The air pressure inside a forming hurricane eye drops so fast that your lungs would struggle to pull enough oxygen in, even though the air around you looks perfectly calm. Not from wind, not from rain, just from the sky itself becoming thinner as you stand there. That is already happening on Earth, right now, somewhere over warm ocean water. And the mechanism doing it is the same one that makes your refrigerator cold. Let's sit with that for a second. A hurricane is essentially a heat engine. It runs on thermodynamics. The same physics that lets your fridge keep your leftovers cold is the physics that builds a 200-mile wide spinning monster capable of flattening cities. If that connection does not make you want to rethink everything you thought you knew about storms, buckle up. Here is what actually happens when a hurricane eye forms around you. It begins with sea surface temperature. The ocean needs to be at least 26 degrees Celsius, about 79 degrees Fahrenheit, to roughly 60 meters deep. That warm water evaporates into the air above it constantly. This is not dramatic. It looks like nothing, but that invisible water vapor carries enormous amounts of stored energy called latent heat. Now air that is loaded with water vapor is actually lighter than dry air. This surprises people. Wet air rises. As it rises, it cools. As it cools, the vapor condenses into droplets. And here is the critical moment. Condensation releases that latent heat back into the surrounding air. The air warms. Warmer air rises faster. More surface air rushes in to replace it. That rushing surface air begins to rotate because of Earth's spin, a force called the Coriolis effect. And suddenly you have a feedback loop that is feeding itself. If you were standing at the center of this forming system before the eye fully closes, what you would experience is genuinely surreal. The barometric pressure around you is falling, maybe 1 millibar every few minutes during rapid intensification. For context, a normal sea level pressure is about 1013 millibars. Hurricane Patricia in 2015 dropped to 879 millibars. That is a difference greater than the pressure change you feel descending 10,000 feet in an airplane, except here it happens over hours, not minutes. Your eardrums would ache, your sinuses would feel strange, your body would be registering that the atmosphere above you is literally being sucked upward. And here is the thing that breaks the intuition completely. The eye of a hurricane, once fully formed, is calm. Eerily, bizarrely calm. Survivors who have been caught in it describe blue sky overhead, sunshine, birds flying through. But the air you are standing in is being driven downward. Warm air descends in the eye, compresses, and actually warms further. This is called adiabatic warming. The eye is warmer than the eye wall surrounding it. You are standing in the warmest, calmest spot of a global catastrophe. The violence is a perfect ring around you. And the reason you feel calm is thermodynamic irony. The same upward motion pulling air out of the eye is what powers the entire destructive system around it. Think of it like the drain in a bathtub. The water rushing into the drain is the chaos. But standing directly over the drain, you barely feel a ripple. You are at the axis of the vortex. The eye wall surrounding you has winds exceeding 150 miles per hour. The updrafts there can launch air upward at speeds exceeding 150 kilometers per hour, high enough to reach the stratosphere. Inside those clouds, ice crystals collide and generate lightning so intense and frequent that the eye wall glows at night like a stadium of lights. But in the eye, you feel a breeze, maybe rain slowing to a drizzle. The pressure difference between the eye and the eye wall creates a pressure gradient so steep it is basically a wall of physics that the atmosphere itself cannot easily cross. You are being protected by the very geometry of thermodynamic collapse. If this is rewiring how you think about weather, about energy, about the invisible forces running the physical world, subscribe right now. This channel exists specifically for science that your textbooks buried in footnotes. Now here is the second layer that makes this even stranger. A hurricane is not just a heat engine. It is a Carnot engine. In 1824, Sadi Carnot described the theoretical maximum efficiency of any heat engine. You move heat from a hot reservoir to a cold one and extract work from the difference. A hurricane moves heat from the warm ocean surface to the cold upper troposphere, about 15 kilometers up where temperatures hit -70 degrees Celsius. The work extracted from that temperature difference is expressed as wind, as storm surge, as the literal kinetic energy of hundreds of billions of tons of spinning atmosphere. Cary Emanuel at MIT calculated that a mature hurricane releases heat energy equivalent to about 200 times the world's entire electricity generating capacity. Every single second. Not in total. Per second. That number should feel physically impossible. It does not come from any explosion or fuel being burned. It comes from ocean water evaporating and the sky above being cold. That is the whole trick. Two temperatures and gravity. That is the monster. And here is what this means for the future. Ocean temperatures are rising. The warm layer needed to feed a hurricane is getting deeper. Rapid intensification events, where a storm jumps from Category 1 to Category 4 in under 24 hours, are becoming more common. The thermodynamic engine is getting more fuel. We are not just facing stronger storms. We are facing storms that reach their full destructive potential faster than our warning systems were designed to handle. The physics has not changed. Carnot figured out the rules 2 centuries ago. What has changed is the energy available to the system. In the eye of the storm, that bizarre calm cathedral of compressed warm air will keep getting surrounded by faster and faster winds as the ocean keeps warming. You just watched an entire storm system form and collapse through physics. You understand the refrigerator and the hurricane are the same machine now. One question remains. What else in the physical world is quietly running on thermodynamics while we mistake it for something magical? Hit subscribe and find out next time.